not for him, but for the players. All right, we continue on the Blitz as Kyle Yeomans now joins us. We're talking about one guy in that linebacker room who has done some good things in his career with the Cowboys, and that would be Demone Clark.
Yeah, he's been one of the forgotten pieces for this Cowboys defense over the last few years. But if you remember back to 2023, he played over 840 snaps at linebacker, and he's going to have to try and find that production again here in his contract year, final year of his rookie deal. But he also has a fresh start with this coaching staff in Dallas.
After logging just over 160 defensive snaps in 2024, it could be easy for linebacker Demone Clark to lose confidence and lose sight of his long-term goals. Instead, this offseason has served as a reset for the fourth-year man out of LSU, who is having fun playing football again thanks to a renewed focus.
Just be me, leave last year behind. Last year was a rough year. You have those. You have rough years, but you just got to keep pressing. That's part of being a pro. You got to find a way to stay consistent with it. So that's my thing. Just be consistent, come here each day, be intentional, do what I'm supposed to do, and be the person that I know that I can be.
One of the leading factors in Clark's newfound confidence is the new coaching staff and new scheme on the defensive side of the ball, allowing for linebackers to play free and to read and react.
It's fun. It's fun just being the coaches being there with us, coaches showing that they care about us, every step of the way. Obviously it's a new scheme, so we learn it. They being patient with us, but with them being patient at the same time, we got to do our part outside the facility.
Clark has put in the work, catching the eye of head coach Brian Schottenheimer.
The way he's diagnosing things looks quicker to me than maybe in the past. A little bit more command of it. The connection that he has with Flus, Coach Borgonzi, I think that's important. He wants to do things the right way. That I think that relationship that he's developed with Dave Borgonzi is incredible.
It's a fresh start. I don't got to worry about what happened last year. That's in the past. You got coaches here that care about you, that want to see you succeed, and our success is their success. So it's a partnership. We're working hand in hand.
So far, he's aced the offseason test, and he's taken advantage of his opportunities by being in the right place at the right time in practice, earning the trust of his peers and coaches in a crowded linebackers room.
Again, that's what this time of year is about as well. It's again, like we've said, what are we doing to connect the coaches to the players to the staff, and I think that Dave's done a really good job of capturing not just Demone, but really that entire linebacker room, because there's a ton of new faces in there.
Even with the connection that Demone Clark has with this coaching staff, his salary cap hit in 2025 is slated to be $3.5 million. The Cowboys could actually save some room on the cap by cutting Demone Clark in the middle of training camp. So in order for him to find his way onto this roster, it can't just be special teams now for his fourth year in the NFL. He's going to have to rotate in at linebacker with Kenneth Murray, with Jack Sanborn, and some of those other linebackers on the roster. But we've seen it before. The athletic ability is there from Demone Clark. Can he find a way to put that all together and put together an incredible year? Probably going to have to be his best training camp in order to make this Dallas Cowboys team.
A contract year for him, but the training camp is as big as it's ever been for Demone Clark. Kyle Yeomans, we appreciate it. And Nicole will rejoin us here.
I can play any spot. So it's, just knowing, learning every single spot. And whenever your number's called, you have to be ready. And that's what I take into account. Whenever my number's called, I got to be ready to go in at corner, nickel, safety. So, I just really take that with my game for real. So.
Another player going into his fourth year in this league, Wanye Thomas. Welcome back to the Blitz. Bill Jones and Nicole Hutchison. We're talking that safety room, and right off the top, how about we show you what that depth chart looks like in that safety room, because you got some returners, both returning starters in Malik Hooker and Donovan Wilson at the top of the list. Look down that right side with Wanye Thomas and Marquise Bell, both going into their fourth year. Israel Mukuamu as well has years of service already, and you got some undrafted guys as well. But we talk about the two starters, Hooker and Wilson.
Yeah, Malik Hooker's coming off one of his best seasons, one of his complete seasons as a pro, 2024. Obviously, a career high 81 total tackles, 5 PBUs, 2 interceptions, allowed just 19 receptions in cover and added a pressure as a blitzer. And then you look on the other side, Donovan Wilson, when he was used properly and to his strengths, he thrived. I mean, 82 tackles, 4.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, an interception, 13 total pressures. So, I mean, that safety room, when you look at that depth too, you have quality depth. But these 2 guys surely have that starting safety spot shored up, and I think that you're getting consistency with both of those guys as far as their production, but just what they can bring is better in leadership as well.
You know, and both those guys stayed healthy throughout the year last year. Both made 17 starts, but you look at the depth that you're alluding to there, and in particular, guys like Wanye Thomas, like Marquise Bell, who got playing time a couple of years ago as a linebacker in Dan Quinn's defense. Cowboys have to feel good about the depth here.
Absolutely. I mean, and Wanye talking about that soundbite that we heard earlier, that he's learning all the positions to make himself more valuable. That's something that Marquise Bell has kind of an upper hand on him. You already mentioned Bill, him taking on that linebacker position a couple of years ago and now kind of being that hybrid guy. But you got to give Marquise Bell an opportunity. Well, when he's healthy, of course, we missed 8 games last year after Houston. 7. But I mean, 3-year extension, $12 million. You got to see what he's got as far as the safety position. But again, you have Wanye Thomas, who is looking for to make some opportunities there for him. And he also made some splash plays on special teams. Of course, you know how you get on the field. You do well on special teams. You see more opportunities defensively and offensively, of course, but defensively in this perspective.
Well, in terms of Wanye Thomas, it was what Fossil always talked about with Wanye. Nick Sorensen, the special teams coach, is finding out about Wanye Thomas. He can be a special teams demon. All right, we wrap up the Blitz in just a moment, and you can't miss this because we've got Micah.
40 in a whole new way. Are you ready for this?
Yep.
All right, let's get it. All right, let's start my timer. And in 3, 2, 1. What's one thing fans would be surprised to know about you?
I'm really good at pickleball.
Okay, you got 24 hours, no obligations. What you doing?
Oh, man, I'm gaming all night.
Gaming all night?
Yeah.
Love it. Rank these in order: tacos, barbecue, or wings?
Oh, wings, tacos, barbecue.
Okay, if you could swap lives with any teammate for a day, who you picking?
CD Lamb. Trayvon Diggs.
Okay, if you had your own signature sneaker, what would it be called?
Ooh, Lion.
Ooh, okay. If this team had a reality show, what are you naming it?
Living with the Cowboys.
Okay, I like that. If you could add one non-football skill to your game, what would it be?
Ooh, non-football? Model.
So, I've heard singing, haven't heard model yet, but your time is up. Got one last question. What can Cowboys Nation expect out of number 11 in 2025?
Man, y'all expect me to be the best player in the world.
All right, it wasn't just 47. We got some overtime there with Micah.
Absolutely. I mean, I had to ask him, what can Cowboys Nation expect out of you? And he said, best player in the world. I don't know. That's a hard answer to beat, Bill.
Okay, world's greatest, like Muhammad Ali. Okay, but will we see Micah on the practice field this week? The mandatory minicamp starts on Tuesday. There you see the schedule. Coach Schottenheimer's first press conference on Tuesday at 11:45 in practice. Of course, it's not open to the public, but it is open to the media, and so you'll see your reports right here. And then it wraps up with a Schottenheimer press conference on Thursday at 1:30. But to wrap things up, you've been out here OTAs. Who's one guy that stood out to you? Give me one guy.
I'm going Tyler Guyton. He's a guy that I instantly noticed when I went to go see practice, obviously all offseason, but and I said, you lean up, man. He said he's changed his diet, eating a lot of salmon, of course, and really focusing on how much better he needs to be this year. So Tyler Guyton's my guy.
All right, for Nicole Hutchison and Kyle Yeomans, I'm Bill Jones. We'll see you next week.
It is post-June 1st now. I do want to mention maybe the biggest player who seems likely to be on the move after June 1st. That is Jalen Ramsey. There are a lot of NFL eyes on this one because it's now extremely doable for Miami. His current cap hit is $16.6 million. The trade savings the Dolphins now get with the Ramsey move is just under $6 million. But the dead money's big in 2026. The Dolphins know that. They're kind of in this weird rebuilding, not rebuilding, trying to figure it out tier. The cash is a lot, $21.1 million. And I do think that $21 million in cash owed, I think it's even a bigger issue than I'd previously thought. The Rams have been so heavily linked, but they've got the cash if they want to. They've got the cap if they want to. But I think there is some hesitancy to lock in 1 year, 21.1, 2 years, over $42 million. That's a lot. So will the Dolphins eat some of the money? I don't think Dallas has any interest in taking on Ramsey at $21 million. Will the Dolphins eat like 4 of it to still save some money, and that gets it down under 20? That's probably still too much for Dallas, but maybe for a different NFL team it makes sense. I think that would help facilitate a trade. I think Miami could also take the approach of, why would we trade you right now? If we're not going to do it, we'll keep Jalen, who doesn't want to be here. Gets a little bit dicey, right? I still assume it's not the Dallas Cowboys. I still think a lot of the Dolphins reporting, you can go back to the John Smith stuff if you want, has been Dolphins leaks to drive up more of a market and get better trade compensation. We'll keep an eye on it until he gets dealt. It is a big NFL story, and hell, maybe the Eagles get crazy with it. It's a very classic Eagles move. Commanders do. We'll see what happens. So don't go anywhere. Make sure you guys are subscribed.